Alright, welcome back to another video. Before we get started, make sure you like, subscribe, comment now. Enjoy this video. Okay, we're back for week 12 of 5 NFL thoughts. As you know, every single week, I give you 5 NFL thoughts from that particular week. Let's jump right into it with thought number 1. With the AFC being wide open, I still think the Chiefs are one of the favorites to come out of the AFC. And I think there's a couple reasons why I still think that, even though their record doesn't say that they should be one of the favorites, sitting right now at 6-5 after the win over the Colts. But they have the experience over every team in the AFC. And with it being wide open, there's a lot of young teams, unproven teams at the top of the AFC. You look at New England. You look at the Colts, who they just beat. I mean, and the Broncos. Those are 3 teams who have not really proven a lot in the NFL over the past 2 or 3 seasons. So the Chiefs have that experience. They've been to the AFC Championship every year that Patrick Mahomes has been the starter. So they know what it takes when they get to the big spots. They know what it takes in the playoffs to win. They know what it takes in big moments to win. They're clutch. They've been clutch historically, and even though they've struggled in one-possession games, now they won this week against the Colts in a one-possession game, but they've struggled throughout the year. I still trust them more than probably any other team in a one-possession game because of their history, because of what they've shown throughout their careers, like Mahomes, like Kelsey, like Chris Jones, that they're clutch. They know how to come up big when they need to come up big. And I don't see them beating themselves. That's another thing. They're not going to beat themselves. I know it's been a tough year for the Chiefs this year. They haven't looked great from time to time. But in big moments, in the playoffs, if they get there, they are not going to beat themselves. They are going to make somebody beat them. If you are going to beat the Chiefs, you are going to have to beat them. Look at their playoff losses over the last 7 years. Most of them have happened because they've been beat, not because they've beaten themselves. The only game you can sit there and be like, oh yeah, they beat themselves, was the AFC Championship game against the Bengals in 2021. That's the only time you can sit there and say, yeah, the Chiefs beat themselves. Other than that, teams have beaten the Chiefs. So they are not going to beat themselves. And this defense, you watch them against the Colts. When they have to shut down a dominant running game, they can do it. They did it against Saquon in the Super Bowl. They did it against the Colts and Jonathan Taylor. This defense can shut down top offenses. I truly believe that. So now it's just going to come down to the offense and how well they play. Can this offense with Patrick Mahomes, this receiving core, Kelsey, can it score and produce enough to win football games? Because this defense is going to keep them in football games. They just lost to the Broncos a couple weeks ago, but that was not because of the defense. That was because of the offense. I would argue the defense is the reason the Chiefs beat the Colts, because they shut down that dominant running game of the Colts. So the Chiefs' defense are going to keep them in games. To me, it's just whether or not this offense can produce enough. Thought number 2. Caleb Williams is doing such a good job of playing within the system. I didn't think he could do it. Because if you watch him at USC, he kind of just did his own thing, played off schedule, didn't really play within Lincoln Riley's system. And then you watched him in his first year, same thing, just kind of did his own thing, did what he wanted to do, ran around, held onto the ball, tried to make the home run play every single time. But this year, under Ben Johnson has taken pressure off of Caleb. He's forced Caleb to just play within the system. Don't do anything dumb. Don't hold on to the ball all the time. Don't take unnecessary sacks. Be smart. Don't turn the football over. And we'll move the ball and score points. And that's what Caleb Williams has been doing. He's been playing so smart. I didn't think Caleb could do this. I thought Caleb was boom or bust. It was his way or the highway. It was his system, run around, hold on to the ball, extend plays. I thought that's how he had to play. I didn't think he could play within a system, I'll be honest, because he's never done it. And he's proving me wrong, and I think a lot of people wrong, that he can do it. And I think having the help around him helps. Getting Colston Loveland, having DJ Moore, having Rome Odunze, having Swift in the backfield, having these guys be able to just take the pressure off him. So now he just has to get them the football, and they'll do the rest. He doesn't have to worry about extending plays. He just has to quick get it out. DJ Moore will do the rest. Odunze will do the rest. Colston Loveland will do the rest. He just has to play within the system, and they're going to win games. And it's great to see if you're a Caleb Williams fan. Thought number 3. The Dallas Cowboys have shown that they can be a legit playoff team these last couple of weeks. They have. They've been impressive these last 2 weeks against the Raiders and against the Eagles. The Eagles game was a great Cowboys win, I thought. It was one of the better wins I've seen the Cowboys have in the past probably 2 or 3 years. Their offense has looked incredible. George Pickens has looked like the best receiver maybe in football. Like, he has looked that good. I did not see this in Pittsburgh. I think having Dak instead of Russell Wilson in Pittsburgh has helped out George Pickens tremendously. I don't think people are talking about Dak's ability to help out George Pickens enough, because he has done a tremendous job feeding George Pickens, keeping George Pickens happy, keeping him engaged. I think Dak deserves a lot of credit for that. And he's a big reason why this offense is doing what it's doing, because he's taking pressure off CD. CD, you can argue, CD's been the number 2 receiver in this offense. But it's made them even more dangerous, because now you've got this 1-2 punch in the passing attack. It's hard for teams to defend this passing attack with George Pickens and CD Lamb. I think the O-line's been playing great. They've been protecting Dak. They've been running the football really, really good. But this defense, since adding Quinnen Williams, since getting Malik Hooker back, since adding Logan Wilson, this defense has taken a step. I didn't want to go too far after the win over the Raiders. I wanted to just watch for a couple more weeks. But what they did to the Eagles was impressive. They struggled early, but then they shut it down the rest of the game. They gave up 21 quick points, and then the rest of the way, they shut it down. They didn't give up nothing. It was impressive to watch. After watching the Cowboys for the first 5-6 weeks, I would have never guessed that they would look like this. They looked horrible through the first 5-6 weeks. And now recently, they've looked like a legit defense. And it's all because of those additions, getting guys back. Now they have people in the right spots. They're not having communication issues. They've been a lot of fun to watch as a football team these last couple of weeks. Thought number 4. The Philadelphia Eagles offense makes no sense to me. None whatsoever. There are moments they look great. Then there are moments they don't look great. They can't really run the football like they did last year. Saquon Barkley's not having nowhere near the year he had last year. Sometimes it looks like they can throw the football. Sometimes it looks like they can't. Their offense really has no rhythm whatsoever. None. It's just a confusing offense. Because the first 5-6 possessions of that game, they looked like the best offense in football. They were moving the ball up and down the field against the Cowboys. They had A.J. Brown involved. Devontae Smith involved. Jalen Hurts was playing outstanding. And then they just didn't do anything the rest of the game. It's so confusing watching this offense. And they've done it throughout the year. Against the Rams, they could not move the ball in the first half. Then they come out in the second half, and they start throwing it, and they move the ball up and down the field. That's been all year with the Eagles offense. They've looked horrible. They've looked great. They've looked horrible. They looked great. There hasn't been really no consistency throughout the year with this offense. And it's so weird to see, because there is so much talent that this should not be happening. There should not be this level of roller coaster going on with this offense. It should just be consistent throughout. And it hasn't been so far this season. Thought number 5. I think for the first time, finally, after 12 weeks, We finally have a clear number one team right now in the NFL. And that could change in the coming weeks. But right now, it is the Los Angeles Rams. What they did against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, that game was not close. It was a mismatch. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, to me, are a pretty good football team. And the game was nowhere near even competitive. The Rams' defense was excellent. Their pass rush is elite with Jared Verse, Byron Young, Kobe Turner, those guys. Their secondary, I think, is getting better. There's not a lot of big names in the secondary, but I think with that pass rush, the secondary doesn't have to be super special. It just has to be good. And then their offense. Matthew Stafford, I've talked about him a couple weeks ago. He's playing as good as any quarterback in football. He is on a major heater. He's throwing the ball excellent. They got Puka Nacua, who's one of the best receivers in football. Davante Adams looks like Davante Adams of the Green Bay Packers. He looks that good. They got a running game with Corum and Kyron Williams. They got a good offensive line that's protecting Matthew Stafford. To me, the Rams are the clear-cut number one team right now in the NFL. And I don't think there's really been another team that's really separated themselves like the Rams have so far this year. But that's my 5 NFL thoughts. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and have an awesome day.